You know, whenever I come across an exciting book, I always like to get right into it. You know, it's hard to believe, but we built this book for that joke. So soon? Well, anyway, welcome to more Master Schtick Theater. You know, a lot of people have questions about Schtick. For instance, does it hurt when you get a pie in the face? Let's check that out. Now, that didn't hurt at all. However, I must admit, it does hurt when 1,000 pumpernickels fall on your head. If you have a choice, take the pie.
Tonight, it's Master Schtick Theater, and Johnny Wayne and Frank Shuster are back once again to present with pride and great chutzpah.
Excuse me, that's chutzpah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With great chutzpah, it's more Master Schtick Theater. And now, Wayne and Shuster.
Well, it's my own fault. I booked that announcer and I recommended the pie. Who asked you? Well, as we all know, this is a retrospective. And what we're going to see tonight, among other things, are some great moments in history, like the burning of Rome.
Be careful with that axe. There are treasures in there.
Yeah, come on, watch it.
Wait a minute, what is that? Where did you get this?
We dropped the statue back there. It's the Venus de Milo.
Oh, that's great. Look what you've done. It's worthless.
No. I think we can flog it to the Louvre.
Johnny and I lived in a world rich in culture. There was a 6-year-old Mozart who auditioned for the emperor.
Bravo. Also ordentlich.
Well, Your Majesty?
You're absolutely right. Little Wolfgang is a wunderkind.
And wouldn't you say he's ahead of his time?
Definitely. That was Gershwin he was playing.
We were enthralled by one of the world's greatest sculptures.
Like to see her in a bathing suit.
And there were sketches featuring the ballet.
The Stroganoff Ballet of Moscow is the finest ballet company in the world.
I agree, and I predict they'll take London by storm. Something's gone wrong. She's been shot.
Shot?
Yes. Right through the tutu.
Tootsie, goodbye.
In 1969, Johnny and I wanted to do a sketch about the Siege of Troy. Unfortunately, we needed a wooden horse 14 feet high. That's right, taller than that. Now, sad to relate, the CBC had already discovered the word downsizing. They let us talk about a horse, but we couldn't have a horse. So here's the Siege of Troy without a horse.
Menelaus, old friend.
Agamemnon, old warrior, how goes the siege?
Not well. I fear we'll never breach the walls of Troy.
But we must. 9 years ago, when my wife, the beautiful Helen, was kidnapped by Paris, son of Priam, I swore I would not rest until Troy was destroyed. No, Helen. Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. How does the poet describe her?
The face that launched 1,000 ships and burnt the topless towers of Ilium.
Ilium is topless? Well, at least we'll be able to tell the boys from the girls.
Your Majesty, it's an outside chance, but I think I have a plan that might get us within the walls of Troy.
Really?
My idea is that we build a huge wooden horse.
Huge wooden horse?
Yes, it'll cost about 60,000 drachmas. Now, this horse will be large enough to conceal a great number of our soldiers. We will leave it outside the gates and pretend to sail away. Now, the curiosity of the Trojans, which is legendary, will be aroused. Under cover of darkness, they'll drag the horse within the gates, whereupon our soldiers, at a given signal, will leap out swords in hand, and Troy will be ours. Well, sire, what do you think?
You're putting me on. Agamemnon, you've come up with some pretty weird ideas in your time, but this one takes the laurel wreath. A big wooden horse. You, of all people, should know a wooden horse won't work.
Well, why won't it work?
Well, tell me this. Did the wooden dog work? How about the wooden cat? Did the wooden cat work? The wooden pig? How about the big wooden cow? What an obscene thing that was.
14 years later, Mirabile Dictu, Latin for wonders to relate, the CBC found the money, and voila, we had our ending.
I've got the horse right here. Well, what do you think, Menelaus?
You know something? This is the greatest weapon in the history of warfare. Ban the horse! Ban the horse!
Ban the horse? Who are they? Some crazy new cult that believes in just one God.
Only one God?
They're this far away from being atheists.
And so in the dead of night outside the gates of Troy, the Greek soldiers get ready to enter the horse.
Halt! Is everybody here?
I'll call a roll. Answer your names. Odysseus? Here. Eumenides? Here. Achilles?
No!
He's here. Patroclus? Here. Ajax? Here. Diomedes?
He's not here.
Why not?
Tonsillitis.
Tonsillitis? Here.
Let's forget it. Let's move out.
All right. Come on, let's get this phalanx on the road, put up the ladder, and let's board that horse. Okay, let's go. All right, men, this is it. It is Delta Day. I suggest we synchronize our timepieces.
Well, Paris,
Yes, Father.
what do you make of it?
It's a wooden horse.
I know it's a wooden horse. What does it mean?
Well, I suppose the Greeks have admitted defeat and gone home. They left this as a gift.
Well, as the old saying goes, never look a gift horse in the mouth.
You're right. I'll tell the men to drag it inside the city. They fell for it.
Ready?
If anybody feels ill, there's little bags under the seats.
We're going through the gates.
Attention! We'll be entering Troy very shortly. Please remain seated until the horse comes to a full stop.
Once inside the walls, the Trojans realized there was something wrong.
It's a Greek trick!
Sentry, sound the alarm! To arms! To arms! All right! Forward! Greeks!
Sorry.
Enough! Enough! We surrender.
Well, Agamemnon, we have triumphed.
Yes.
And now, Paris, you treacherous swine, where is my wife? Where is the beautiful Helen?
Very well. Let Helen enter.
Holy Zeus. Well, the siege of Troy is over. We may as well set sail for Sparta.
Right. What are you going to do about the big horse?
I'm taking her with me. Helen, come. Farewell, Agamemnon.
Farewell, Menelaus.
We better get that wound looked after.
Yes, sir.
Come, men.
Is there a doctor in the horse? Why not?
We'll be right back.
Johnny and I loved to do sketches about heroes. Back in the early black and white days, I played Superman. And of course, Mounties are always heroes.
That reminds me, I've got to report to Ottawa.
And there was a spaghetti western character. Was he a hero? Or was he the bad guy?
From out of the West, there rides a man, slow to anger, but always ready to fight for justice. Strong, forthright, honest, unflinching, and brave. This story is not about him. It's about him. A new kind of Western hero, mean, rotten, and vicious. A fistful of fingers.
I'm just a drifter. A man with no name. No past, no present, no future, no nothing. As a matter of fact, I haven't even got a joke for this bit.
Based on the thrilling Western novel, The Good, the Bad, and the NDP.
Boss. What is it, Slade? We got trouble. There's a stranger in town.
A stranger?
Yeah, and he's mean, rotten, and vicious. He must be the good guy.
Howdy, stranger.
Shalom, amigo.
I never seen you in these parts before.
Yeah, I usually do the funny part.
You from Laramie?
Nope.
Durango?
Nope.
Abilene?
Nope. Try Tombstone.
Oh, you're from Tombstone.
Nope.
Let me introduce myself.
I wish you would.
They call me Bart Snively.
To your face?
Let me set you straight, stranger. I own this town.
You do?
Yeah. I own this saloon. I own the bank, the livery stable. I own the hotel.
You own a hotel?
Yeah.
You know there are no hangers in my closet? There's a little strip of paper across the toilet seat.
Let me give you a little friendly advice, stranger. We don't cotton to strangers in this town, stranger. Especially when they're strangers. Let me spell it out, stranger. I own this town and I don't want you in it.
Well, let me tell you something, mister. You may own this town and all the people in it, but times are a-changing. Where I come from, we live by a new code. A hard code that every man has to learn.
And what's that?
Well, mine is M6B1H2. It used to be Toronto 3, but they simplified it.
In a world of heroes and villains, the ultimate villain was Satan himself. This next sketch deals with the devil and a young man who loved to play hockey.
I want to be a hockey player. Billy Tchaikovsky in goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh, boy, I'd give anything for that. Hey, where did you come from?
I come from a place that no man dares name. A place that strikes terror in the hearts of all men.
Detroit? You mean if I sell you my soul, I can get to be goalie of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Right. And no one will score on you ever.
Wow! Well, what do I have to do?
It's all in this contract. Just a simple little agreement between friends.
I'm Billy Tchaikovsky, hereafter known as the party of the first part.
Oh, it's just your standard agreement with the devil. Sign right here.
Okay.
Just a moment. It's customary to sign in blood.
Blood?
That's right.
Couldn't we use ketchup? It's just a sketch.
And so Johnny signed a lifetime contract to play goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was unbelievable. He played 400 games, and he had 400 shutouts. The Hall of Fame honored him in his very first year.
And now, at this time, we would like to unveil a special portrait of yourself by Karsh of Ottawa.
It's all been too easy. Always winning, never losing. There's no challenge. Always the thrill of victory, never the agony of defeat.
Johnny had made up his mind. He was determined to break his contract.
Let me refresh your memory. Clause 22J. Failure to honor this contract will result in the party of the first part, that's you, being consigned to the fiery depths of hell for 1,000 centuries or eternity, whichever comes first.
Well, I thought there might be a loophole.
There are no loopholes, and I ought to know, because I'm the patron saint of the legal profession.
Well, you're the advocate's devil, eh? Well, anyway, I'd like a second opinion.
What second opinion?
I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. May I present Mr. Alan Eagleson?
Alan Eagleson. Trying to go over my head, eh?
Right. The toughest negotiator in hockey.
Well, it won't work, Eagleson. This contract is ironclad. Even you can't find a loophole.
Mind if I take a look at it?
All right, Tchaikovsky, this time you've gone too far. No more nice guy. I warned you what would happen.
No!
I am consigning you to the flames.
No! Not Atlanta!
I think I solved your problem.
All right.
This contract can be broken.
That's impossible. It says right here that he has to play at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yes, he has to play at Maple Leaf Gardens, but he doesn't have to play hockey.
One of these days, Eagleson, I'm gonna get you.
Say, do you know Melancholy Baby?
We'll be right back.
Johnny and I were basically sketch performers. We did long sketches, we did short ones. Name a topic, we did it. Here's a sketch with a touch of the supernatural.
The Return of the Invisible Man.
Hello, honey, I'm home.
Did you remember the breads?
I'll be right back. There's always room for Jell-O, and there's always room for commercials.
It's just like a fine play. A fine wine takes time to mature into a work of art. Time is the vital factor. We here at Paul Marone, the winery, know that. We take the finest grapes, nurture them just like a playwright nurtures his words. Paul Marone said more than a century ago, we will sell no wine before it's time. Should be ready in 20 minutes.
And now, with apologies to our favorite writer, who else? William Shakespeare. We tackled a Scottish play. Now, here's a contemporary Wayne, Shakespeare, and Shuster version of Macbeth.
Oh, when shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? In rain, when the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
Yes, we were two undercover cops, and our assignment was to go to Glom's castle and find out who killed Duncan, King of Scotland.
So, this is where the murder took place.
Look. Well. The guy that did this certainly knew what he was doing.
You mean the murderer?
No, the artist. Look, he even signed his name. How about that? It's a genuine McTavish.
Make way for Macbeth, the Thane of Glom.
A drum.
Macbeth, doth come.
All right, what are you two guys doing in my castle?
Dunsinane, PD.
Oh, detectives. It's about time you got here.
Lammermoor.
McPhee.
We're investigating the Duncan murder.
You don't have to. The case is solved.
Oh?
I got the two guys that did it.
Can we ask them a few questions?
Sure, but you won't get any answers.
How come?
I killed them.
What do you mean you killed them?
Well, they were supposed to be protecting the king, so I knocked them off.
He wasn't kidding. The handwriting was on the floor.
Hey, another genuine McTavish.
Yeah, a few more murders, and this guy can have a one-man show.
Macbeth worried us. We didn't buy any of his answers. It was time to talk with our snitches, the three witches. They hung out at a little nightclub in downtown Dunsinane at the corner of Firth and Fourth.
Excuse me, you secret black and midnight hags.
Yes?
Lammermoor?
McPhee, mind if we sit down?
Always delighted to see the fun. How are you, honey?
You got a permit for that nose?
Care to join us in a snack?
What's in there?
I have newt's toe of frog, a wool of bat, tongue of dog, adder's fork of blindworm sting, Mrs. Leg and Howlet swing.
What do you recommend with this, red or white wine?
Just a minute, ladies. Did you tell Macbeth that he would be king?
Yes, we did. We told him he would be king. And it happened.
Wait a minute, that's it.
What are you talking about?
Don't you smell a rat?
No, I think it's this stuff.
They tell Macbeth he's going to be king, so he makes it all come true by making the hit on Duncan.
I also told Macbeth that he'd be killed by no man born of woman.
Are you talking in vitro fertilization?
They told us plenty. Banquo was next on the hit list. And a surprise, Lady Macbeth was the brains behind all the murders. She was Mrs. Big.
Well, I guess it's time to move in, Lammermoor.
Right.
What do you say we visit the Macbeths and rattle a few cages?
Yeah. We'll go up to Glom's castle and kick kilt.
It was time to head back to Glom's castle to confront Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. One look at her and we knew she was in a foul mood.
What are you two lowlanders doing here?
Homicide.
We'd like to ask you and your husband a few questions.
Haven't you couples got anything better to do than to harass a royal couple?
Just doing our job, ma'am.
Wait right here. And don't go near the buffet.
One look at Macbeth and we could see he was ready to crack. And then it happened. He imagined he saw the ghost of Banquo sitting there.
It's Banquo!
Where?
In my chair, don't you see him?
Did you see that?
No.
Neither did I.
Stop acting like a king. Sit down.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
This time he really freaked out.
He's gone!
Well, we had the goods on Macbeth, but there was another suspect, Lady Macbeth.
Wait a minute. Somebody's coming.
Quick, behind that curtain.
Curtain? Are you kidding? That's how Polonius got it.
Look. It's Lady Macbeth.
Out, dance, blot out, I say. 1, 2. 'Tis time to do it. Ah, hell is murky.
Let's put the cuffs on her.
Right.
There's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes in Arabia cannot sweeten this little hand.
All right, Lady Macbeth, you're under arrest. We're taking you in on a 627.
What's that?
Overacting.
It was time to go back to headquarters and update the chief.
Well, I guess you two must be feeling pretty good, huh?
Well, we busted Lady Macbeth.
Accessory murder 1.
And what about Macbeth?
Macbeth?
Haven't you heard? He's gone wild. He's just wiped out Macduff's family.
What a body count.
Yeah, Duncan, the 2 servants, Banquo, and now Macduff's family.
You know what I think?
What?
He's put out a contract on Scotland.
Well, while you two are wasting your time here, he's raised an army and he's going to finish the job. Unless you stop him.
We'll need backup.
You got it.
Okay, where do we go?
Burnham Wood. Move it.
So following the chief's orders, we disguised ourselves as trees. However, by the time we arrived, the battle was over.
We won the Okay, police.
This is a bust. What's going on?
It's all right, officer. Macbeth is dead. And Malcolm, son of Duncan, is the new king!
Well, Lammermoor, that wraps everything up. Let's go back and do the paperwork.
Hold it.
What's the matter?
There's somebody behind that tree. Cover me. All right, you! Okay, come on. Up against that tree. Spread them.
Okay. He's clean. Wait a minute. What's this? That's my folio.
And just who are you?
My name is Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, and I'm a playwright.
So, what are you doing here?
I thought what has actually happened to Macbeth could be turned into a great play. Hey, look, when you finish this play, I got a great title for you. Oh? Well, there's all these murders and terrible things happen, but in the end, it works out okay. So why don't you call it All's Well That Ends Well?
No, I got a better title for you. This whole thing wouldn't have happened if he hadn't listened to those 3 crazy witches and his wife would have kept her big mouth shut. See, it's all a series of foolish mistakes. So why not call it a comedy of errors?
Well, I actually already have the title. I'm simply going to call it Macbeth.
Macbeth? As you like it.
Double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, fillet of the finished steak, with a
One of the nice things about television is you get fan letters. Now, this may seem to be a lot of mail, but remember, we started in show business in 1941. Are you still here? Anyway, our viewers seemed to like the show because it was family viewing. No questionable material, no double entendre, not only politically correct, but actually grammatically correct.
If I was a rich man.
Excuse me, shouldn't that be if I were a rich man?
If I were a rich man, I would use the subjunctive.
Oh. Actually, we have quite a few letters here thanking us for the work we did in fighting violence on television.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Our salute to non-violent television.
And we honestly believe that it could make a difference. After all, television does influence the world.
And just think, in a non-violent world, no longer would we have a world full of anger. No longer would we have a world full of hatred. But it's up to you out there. Right, Frank?
It's absolutely right, John. Violence will not go away if you don't do anything about it.
Exactly.
You've got to get out there and take a stand against it.
Right.
Talk is not enough. You've got to get out there and use force. Did you hear what I said? You've got to get out there and use force.
Frank,
you really have to fight violence. If you want non-violence,
Frank,
you've got to use violence.
Frank, that's a preposterous philosophy. What are you talking about?
Those bleeding hearts, they come up to you and ask you to sign those petitions. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's too late for petitions, right, gang? Time has come for action.
Action? Wait a minute.
Those lousy networks, they only understand one thing, and that's the male fist.
Now, wait a minute. Shut up another minute.
We're going to get rid of violence on television if we have to kill everybody. On to the networks. On to the CBC. And we'll get
What the world needs now is love.
This has been a non-violent television production.
You know, in a retrospective, you look back in time. But occasionally, Johnny and I looked into the future. For instance, doctors. As the years go by, there seem to be more budget cuts, more closing of hospitals. Now, what will their attitude be in the years to come?
It's for you, Doctor.
Oh, fine. Thanks, Bill. Yes.
Oh, hello, Doctor. This is Fred Willoughby.
Oh, how are you, Fred?
Well, not so good, Doc. You see, I got this pain in my stomach.
Did you take your temperature?
Yeah, it was normal.
Did you take your blood pressure?
It was fine.
Uh-huh. What about the cardiogram?
Cardiogram turned out all right, Doc.
And the x-rays?
X-rays normal.
Well, what do you think?
I think it's appendicitis.
I concur. Well, Fred, the next step's an operation.
An operation, eh?
First thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, Doc.
And Fred?
Yes?
Let me know how you make out.
And as we go bravely into tomorrow's world, we're hearing more and more discussions about cloning. Now, here's the bad news. We never talked about it. We sang about it.
Be a clone, be a clone. The world loves a clone. Don't be sad, don't be blue. Science has a double for you. Pick a cell, any cell, and produce someone you know well.
A clone is just a duplicate that's perfect and true.
A scientific replica that does what you do.
A breathing, walking, talking, carbon copy of you. Be a clone, be a clone, be a clone. Be a clone. All the world loves a clone. Go away.
Lock the door.
You'll have someone minding the store. Take a month, take a year. Even though you're gone, you're still here. 3 pairs of Wayne and Schusters, what a way to get rich. Whenever we get tired, all we do is we switch. So absolutely perfect, we don't know which is which.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that? We don't know which is which.
We know which is which. We're the originals. You're the clones.
What do you mean we're the clones?
Come on, get out of here. Get out, get out.
Cut! Look, let's finish the song.
Be a clone, be a clone, be a clone.
I told you it would work.
You're right.
Those clones will do the show.
Then it's settled. 6 months in Florida.
And 6 months in Palm Springs.
As many of you know, we loved having fun with the great classics of literature. One of our favorites was Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, a young man obsessed with youth. Our version, The Picture of Dorian Wayne, a young man obsessed with food. Now, Johnny played the title role, I played the painter of the portrait, and Paul Kligman was Sir Henry Fresser, London's greatest gourmand.
May I offer you a drink?
No, thank you. I never touch it.
Well, then what's this bottle for?
To wash out my brushes.
Mind you, that's not bad. Well, let's see what you've been working on. I say. What a magnificent portrait. Who is this young man?
Oh, just a young man I know. His name's Dorian Wayne.
Dorian Wayne.
Yes.
I say he's beautiful. So elegant. So slim. I should like to meet this young man.
I hope you never do.
What do you mean?
Your evil influence on the eating habits of young people is very well known.
Oh, what evil influence. I merely take these young men and give them an appreciation of the art of dining.
The art of stuffing yourself, don't you mean? Oh, I've seen your young protégés, the flower of England, turn fat before their time. You take an elegant knob and turn him into a big fat slob. You'll excuse me.
Hello.
Ah, Dorian.
I was on my way home from Harrods, where I just purchased this cricket bat, and I thought I'd drop in and say hello.
Well, what's wrong with the old bat?
She has a cold, so Father took her to the south of France.
I've been admiring your portrait, Mr. Wayne.
I say, Basil, you finished it?
Yes, I've just signed it.
May I?
Of course.
Oh, thank you. I say. Basil, why, that's marvelous.
You like it?
Like it? You silly goose. Why? You've immortalized me in oil. I'm a beautiful. And yet, somehow it makes me feel sad.
Sad, Mr. Wayne?
Yes, to think that someday I shall become old and fat, and that picture will remain forever slim.
Well, wouldn't it be wonderful if the picture were to grow old and fat, and you were to remain forever slim?
I'd give my soul to remain forever slim. Well, there's the plot.
From that day on, Lord Henry and Dorian were inseparable. The months passed, and I kept hearing strange stories about the enormous amounts of food they devoured every day.
You called me Master Dorian?
Yes, I'm positively famished. Would you make me a sandwich?
Certainly. A sandwich. And oh, by the way, this gentleman called.
Oh.
He said he'd be back.
Sterling? I don't know anyone called Sterling.
No, the card, sir.
Oh, the card. Oh, yes. Oh, Basil Shuster. Oh, yes, that's the chap who painted my portrait about 2 years ago. Yes. I haven't seen that picture. Should have a look at it. It's up in the attic. Yeah. Here we are. Good heavens! Just putting on weight. What does it mean? Of course, I've had my wish. What was it that Lord Henry said?
Wouldn't it be wonderful if the picture were to grow old and fat, and you were to remain forever slim?
That's it, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Applebaum, I would like to see your master.
Basil. Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
Dorian, I did not come here to exchange pleasantries.
Oh?
I came because of the ugly stories that have been circulating.
Ugly stories? What ugly stories?
You know jolly well what ugly stories.
Now, look here. Oscar Wilde and I are just good friends.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the stories about you stuffing yourself with food.
Oh.
Ever since you became Lord Henry's protege, your gluttony is the talk of the UK.
Now, steady. A chap's got to eat, you know.
Like a pig.
I beg your pardon?
Like a pig.
Well, not a whole one, but I'll split one with you.
The stories of Dorian's gluttony became even more bizarre. He ate his way through every dish ever concocted by man. The veal dishes of Italy, the hot, spicy curries of India.
Yes, I'm very hungry. Would you make me my usual snack?
Your usual snack,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, and oh, by the way, this gentleman called.
I don't know anyone called Sterling. Sterling?
No, the card, sir.
Oh, the card, yes.
We did that bit before.
I know, but it was 5 years ago. Basil Shuster. Oh, yes, that's the chap who did my picture, that portrait painter. I haven't seen that thing for 5 years.
Good heavens, it's getting even fatter.
It's even beginning to sag back there.
If I eat any more, it'll turn into a mural.
Basil, isn't it after 5 years?
Hello, Dorian.
Cigarette?
No, thank you. I don't smoke.
Neither do I. These are chocolates.
Well, Dorian, you don't seem to have changed much.
Ah, but you do.
Oh, yes, I suppose I've put on a few pounds here and there.
Well, here isn't bad, but there. Oh! What are you carrying back there, your easel?
I did not come here to exchange jokes about my weight.
Oh, and why did you come, Tabao?
Dorian, I am leaving for America, and before I go, I would like to see that picture.
Picture? What picture's that?
You know jolly well what picture. The picture of Dorian Wayne.
I'm afraid that's impossible. It's out, getting a new frame.
A new frame? What's wrong with the old frame?
Not sturdy enough.
I can't understand you. The secrecy about the picture. The strange life you've been leading. Those stories about you stuffing yourself with food.
Your snacks.
The bizarre story of Dorian Wayne and the picture I painted of him came to a strange culmination some 20 years after our last meeting. You're Lord Henry Fresser, aren't you?
Good heavens, Basil Shuster.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Well, you put on a few.
Well, you're no Algernon Swinburne yourself. Tell me, how's Dorian?
Dorian? Well, just see for yourself.
I say he hasn't changed. I believe there's something evil in your eating habits.
Evil?
Yes, I don't know what you're doing, but there ought to be a law against it.
Now, steady, old man. The state has no business in the dining rooms of the nation.
You know what I think, Dorian? I think it has something to do with that picture I painted of you.
No.
Let me see that picture, Dorian.
Never. Never.
Yes, that's it. I've got it now. You're not the real Dorian Wayne at all. You're some strange, inhuman creature. That picture is the real Dorian Wayne.
No, you lie. I am the real Dorian Wayne. Is he right? Am I some inhuman thing? Is that picture the real Dorian Wayne? Picture I wouldn't see it. I haven't seen it for 20 years.
Some shots. They came from up there. The picture. Good heavens. I don't understand. The picture seems to be all right. Oh, no. So ended the strange and unbelievably bizarre story of the picture of Dorian Wayne. That was 10 years ago, and to this day, no one knows the identity of the hideously obese creature that was found in front of the picture, dead. No one knows.
I say, Basil, time for tea. Come along. I'm positively famished.
As I said, no one knows. Not even Dorian.
We'll be right back.
You may not believe this, but I just birdied the last 3 chapters. Oh, thank you. Schtick. The show's over. Anyway, that's Master Schtick Theater for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Johnny thanks you, I thank you, and 3 charming ladies thank you. Hope to see you soon. Good night.
Well, I see by the clock on the wall that it's time to bid you one and all goodbye.
Goodbye.
So long.
So long.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Be good.
Stay well.
Bye-bye.
Keep warm.
Relax.
Eddie.
Take care.
Stay loose.
Adieu, mon vieux.
À la prochaine.
Goodbye till when we meet again.